Okay, fellow students, good afternoon. It's another time again with Teacher Collins. We shall be looking at social studies. We are going to do social studies right now. And I want to encourage every one of us to pay attention to the lesson, listen to the lectures. The notes are available, but we shall get the notes after the lectures. So, today we are going to look at reducing noise pollution. But before we go to reducing noise pollution, I just want to give us, just to remind us with what we did before. We looked at a noisy environment and we said noise is pollution. Just like litters that pollutes the environment, noise is also pollution, and we define noise pollution as unwanted or disturbing sounds that harm human beings and wildlife. Unwanted and disturbing sounds that harm human beings and wildlife. That is noise pollution. Noise pollution. And so we said harmful noise still is the same thing as noise pollution. And there are some things that we do that cause harmful noise in the society. Take for example, or in our environment, take for example slamming of the door. Like when the children used to play and then they come and hit the door will close with a loud sound. That is slamming doors. And when you slam a door like that, when somebody that has maybe a heartbreak is around, it will cause the person to tremble. So it disturbs human being. Any noise that disturbs human being and disturbs wildlife, it is harmful to our environment. Okay. So this afternoon we are looking at reducing noise pollution. So how can we reduce noise pollution? Number one, we can reduce noise pollution by using silencer in our cars and machines. Silencer in cars and machines. Cars and machines. So, what is a silencer? Silencer is a device that they use when they build cars, and then the device can trap or get the sound from the engine of a car and reduces it before it sends it out. So that is a silencer. So when cars have silencer, the sound of the car or the sound of the engine of the car reduces. Now, the school is closer to the road. We discovered that there are some cars when they are passing, the sound of the car is too loud. And there are other cars when they are passing, the sound of the car is too low. So, there is what we call silencer. It is silencer that helps the car. Silencer, they are those devices that traps the sound of a car or of a machine and reduces it before sending it out. So when we have them in cars, it will reduce the noise from the engine. Then, in our houses again, if we put carpets and curtain, they reduce sound. This carpet and curtain, they trap the sound. And when they trap the sound, it makes the sound that gets into the environment becomes reduced. So it reduces the sound. And when sounds are reduced, it also reduces noise pollution. Then when we also reduce the number of cars that plow our streets. Take for example, the number of cars that plow, maybe let's use a particular example, maybe St. Valentine, the government may say, okay, all around St. Valentine, only 30 cars should pass there in a day. When that kind of information is given, it reduces the noise pollution in that environment. Why? Because cars will not just be passing at all times like they used to pass. So it reduces noise pollution. Again, when we put double glasses or double glass windows and doors in our houses. Now in some of our houses, maybe we have a woody door and then a glass door before we enter inside the house. So when there is noise outside, the wood door and the glass door will trap the noise, blocking the noise from entering the house. So those that are inside the house will not have too much noise pollution. The noise there will be reduced. That is another way of reducing noise pollution. And let's look at the one of lowering the volume of musical instrument. Lowering the volume of musical instrument. So when we have musical instrument, like we said the other time, these street boys that they move around, playing their musical instrument and dancing around the street, they make noise. They may come around your area wherein you are studying or you want to sleep, you want to rest, and their music starts playing. It disturbs. You can't sleep, you can't rest, you are forced to stop whatever you are doing. So, if they lower the volume of the musical instrument or the device, what will happen is the noise pollution will reduce. The noise pollution will reduce. Again, like we said in our last class, there are some towns that are industrial towns, or in some of the towns, the government might decide and say, let all the industry, imagine this is a town, town A. Town A, this is where people are living. And then the government might decide and say, all industries in that town should be in this environment. So, if the industries are situated in the outskirts of the town, it will reduce noise pollution in the town. All the industrial noise, all the noise from the machines in the industry will be concentrated only in this area. And the town will be safe from noise pollution. Again, some people that are staying around airports, we discover that when the plane is about taking off and is about landing, it generates, the engine of the plane generates too much noise that causes pollution. That is why most of the airports are always at the outskirts of a town. Alright, that said, how can we improve our environment? Improving our environment. Improving our environment. We discovered that in the past classes we have been studying about pollution in our environment. We look at littering, we look at garbaging, and all that. So, and then we have also looked at noise pollution. But how can we improve our environment? Save our environment from all this pollution. We can save our environment from this pollution maybe when people that are living in a particular environment, they come together and decide a certain rules that, okay, for us to reduce noise, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that, let's do that. Like in school, for us to reduce littering, we said no children or no child should throw papers anywhere around the school. There are dustbin, trash can, wherein maybe you ate your biscuit or you drink your juice, you can throw the empty can inside the trash can. So it reduces pollution. But then, that gathering where the people of a particular environment gather and they begin to discuss is known as brainstorming. So when they gather to brainstorm, when they gather to discuss possible solutions to problems they are facing in that environment, is called brainstorming. So when people gather in order to discuss ways on how to improve on the environment, they are brainstorming. Now, out of that, let us look at early villages. Early villages. Early villages. Before we talk about early villages, what is a village? A village is a small settlement usually found in a rural area. A village is a small settlement, smaller than Malabo. We can give an example of a village like, let's say, Basuku. Basuku is a small village. I hope we all know Basuku. It's a very popular place in Malabo. Basuku is a small village. So that is an example of a village. And most often, some of these villages are too small in such a way that when they are drawing a map of a country, they don't include most of those villages because they are too small. The population of the place is reduced. The villages are not developed like towns. Basipu, if you want to compare, Basipu is not as developed like Malabo. We don't have maybe those beautiful houses like we have in town and all that. So that is an example of a village, Basipu. Now in our world today, there are villages that have stayed for about 100 years. They are still villages, but they have stayed for about 100 years. Maybe the reason why they formed the village was it's no longer existing. Maybe it was a place where they were exploiting minerals, and the minerals are no longer there. Though the village still exists, but it will not have too much development anymore. But there are some other villages again that have grown to towns and big cities. If it might interest you, all towns we see today, they started from a village. They started from a village. So, villages grow up to towns and other bigger settlements like cities and all that. Okay. In the past, all those early people that used to form those villages, they were people that used to move around hunting. They were hunting animals. They will use the skin of the animals maybe to use for their dresses and to make shoes and all that. And then they will use the flesh or the meat for food. And then they were eating wild fruits and crops in the bush. So they could not stay in a particular place. Maybe they are here today and they were hunting maybe grass cutter. After they must have hunted grass cutter, they discovered that there are not too much grass cutter in this place. They will leave this place and get to another settlement, and they stay there and they hunt. After they discover that the place does not have too much animal again, they will leave that place. And so they were roaming. They were making temporary villages, just moving around. But another era came that is known as the New Stone Age. New Stone Age. New Stone Age. What is a New Stone Age? Is a stage in the early people wherein they started, they were developing from their temporary settlement to a permanent settlement, wherein there they could maybe plant crops and they would stay there to cultivate the crops, to weed the grass, make sure the crops grow well, and then they harvest. So it was that stage where they developed themselves, not just eating wild fruit, but also to grow their own crops and eat. They also developed again, not just to move around the bush and hunt wild animals, but they could keep animals and then train them and raise the animals to grow big and age. So that age is known as a new stone age, where their technology, their culture has been improved on, and then they were now living in a more modern society, better than what they used to have. So these people, they are known as prehistoric people. Prehistoric people, that is those early people of those days. So that is what I have for you for today, and I encourage you all to, I have sent the notes through WhatsApp, and copies of the notes are available at the security stand in school. You can pass there and pick the notes and do the exercises that follows, and then you send them in school for marking. Have a nice day, and God bless you all.